do that, then the second half takes care of itself. And but again, we've got to learn and grow. We still look like puppies out there sometimes, And
you got some young pups,
and
we
do.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only got 14 seniors, and that's right. A small class in this world we're in right now. I think I had 27 last year,
wow.
So you're talking half of what we had last year. So that's tough, and that's something we've got to. We've got to make up for, but we've got to have some guys continue to step up. I know it's the end of the year, but they've got to continue to step up so that we feel good about what we have moving forward.
All right, let's tie a bow on the game for just a second. Here are the totals. 418 total yards for EKU, 280 for Central Arkansas. One of the bright spots on Saturday night was our third down conversions. I mean, over 50%, 6 for 11, unfortunately, though, defensively. And their quarterback, I mean, credit where credit's due. He hadn't been playing well. We knew he was somewhat of a threat with his legs. He used them in ways that were just frustrating. I know that's got to be frustrating as a coach, seeing a guy who's struggling passing is able to extend the play with his legs and make plays that you haven't seen on film.
Yeah, unfortunately for us, he had the night of his life.
He did.
I mean,
he
was the best, by far the best game he's had all year. And I knew about Kyle Wise, or however you say his name. He's a great player. Had a great freshman year.
Yeah.
He showed up. But look, again, give credit to their offensive coordinator and their staff and putting a good game plan together, getting the ball out of his hands fast, and then he was able to extend some plays and keep some plays alive that really put us in a bind. But, we've got to be able to contain him and keep him in the box and do some things to help that. We're going to have a great challenge of that moving forward this week, as we'll talk about later. But, yes, I mean, unfortunately for us, he had his best night of the year, and it just happened when we were off on offense as well.
I hate using this cliche because they're two bad things, and I want to talk about something good. Death taxes and Landon Chambers and 100 yards is turning into – we need to think of positive evergreen things because Landon Chambers is a positive evergreen piece of your puzzle that you're able to put out there every single week. His 6 straight 100-yard game, he continues to be the bell cow that you expected him to be, and I think that's probably what gets overlooked, at least from a media perspective, is – it was advertised.
Yeah, it was advertised.
This is the Landon Chambers show. That was the quote in the preseason.
Yeah.
He has lived up to that billing, and he continues to be the guy that you can count on game in, game out to get his numbers and get his down and get his yards after contact.
Yeah, and I was very blunt with my opinion of Landon and what he is as a player, and he's obviously lived up to that. And that's a credit to our offensive line and tight ends at blocking and doing a great job of that. And but his consistency has been key to his success. I mean, he's just a workhorse. I mean, for you to touch the ball as many times as he does on a Saturday, I mean, that's difficult, and you don't see that in the modern football world very often. And so, for him to have that versatility and ability is definitely a weapon for us and something that we look forward to using for a long time.
Tyrell Pollard, leading receiver with 76 yards. Malachi Henry, 4 receptions for 42 yards. And those were tough earned yards. I mean, you talked about locking down man coverage in the second half and what they were doing. And Malachi's catching the ball on the sidelines a couple of times. It looked like he had inches to spare at best, and he's still coming down with the ball. And I know a guy like Tyrell Pollard, I mean, he absolutely bodied a guy on the outside on that go route, and you could just see it coming.
Yep.
Man coverage. I know that Austin talked about it last week, but you continue to see a guy like Tyrell develop and be a guy that, hey, look, we're not putting any kind of expectations like a Lawan Winningham or Tyler Hudson because that's unfair to any kid. But when it comes to toss-up balls, I mean, Austin last week said, I'm just as confident as any throwing it up to those guys.
Yeah, and EKU did a good job of limiting our down-the-field plays because of what they were doing in coverage. And that's been a huge chunk of our success when we have success on offense is those explosive pass plays because those receivers are really good. So we were limited in that area. That was frustrating. That's unfortunate. We've got to be able to manufacture some explosive plays when teams do that. And we've got to put an emphasis on as an offensive staff of creating those. So, hopefully this week, knowing what EKU did, that moving into this Austin P week, we're going to make an emphasis on those explosive pass plays, trying to get the ball down the field. That's the strength of our team is some of those receivers, and we've got to make sure that we take advantage of that.
Gary Lewis was leading tackler, 7 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Camilo Allen got the sack. And continues to be a young guy we've seen develop. We mentioned his name almost every broadcast now as a guy who's not only earning those reps but making the most of them, getting on the stat sheet defensively, which is tough to do, but he's in the backfield wreaking havoc. He's showing great speed. And for his size, being able to get in the backfield is impressive.
Well, pound for pound, one of the more talented kids on our team, just very athletic, plays a position where he's undersized. I mean, just that edge spot, but he's a playmaker. He's as good against the run as he is against the pass, and I mean that. I mean, he is a tough dude against the run. I mean, he's in the backfield a lot. I just wish we had a little more depth behind him.
Yep.
We're a little injured at that spot right now. So he's having to play a lot of snaps. And him playing a lot of snaps isn't a bad thing. It just wears on him when you go throughout the game. You get to the fourth quarter, and you want a fresh Gary Lewis. You want a fresh Jacoby Shell. And they played 50, 60 snaps just because our depth is so limited to that spot right now. So we're handcuffed in some spots because of injuries or because of just depth issues. And those guys are warrioring up, and I appreciate that. But like those guys are really good football players when they're fresh.
Let's talk about what happened over the weekend in the UAC. It was exciting. Abilene Christian getting the upset over then number 2 Tarleton State, 31-28. If you didn't see it, Abilene Christian had to apologize for a tweet after the game they should have never had to apologize for, in my opinion. They said Tarleton is not a state with the final score, and their administration made them delete it and then apologize for it. You should not apologize for something like that.
That's a rivalry game. I mean,
that's benign.
I'm all about being politically correct, but in that situation, I mean, that's a true rivalry game. I mean, it's almost like you throw the gloves off in those situations.
I think it's fair, right? Yeah. Exactly. All right, so Abilene wins big, and I say big, I mean, it was a big win for them, 31-28. The final, Tarleton came storming back. They scored 18 fourth-quarter points, but it wasn't enough. Abilene got that last field goal in the fourth quarter to win. Utah Tech winning against Northern Alabama in St. George. Utah Tech won 34-33. They picked up their first UAC win. And then Southern Utah beating our next opponent. Yes, 33-17, the final, and was really never in doubt. Southern Utah handling them for most of the game. 8 total top 25 teams lost over the weekend.
Yeah.
North Dakota State remains undefeated at 9-0. Montana also undefeated. Lehigh undefeated at 9-0. Tennessee Tech also undefeated at 9-0. And then Harvard, if you want, Acre won't even count them because we watch them on Friday nights when we're traveling. He won't count any Ivy League schools, but Harvard is 7-0 technically. But here's your UAC in the top 25. Tarleton State drops to number 6. They're 9-1 overall. Abilene Christian, after that big win, they jump from 24-18. Austin Peay drops out of the top 25 officially on the stats poll to number 22, but we know how dangerous they are, and we know what they're going to bring, and we'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. But just your thoughts, I mean, when you talk about the 8 teams losing in the top 25, including South Dakota State, who lost.
It might have been the biggest win in Indiana State's history. Beating South Dakota State like that. I don't know what
their quarterback was still out. Yeah. South Dakota State's was, but still, I mean, that's from top to bottom one of the best teams in the nation.
You're seeing the same thing at the FBS level.
Yeah.
Other than maybe the top 2 or 3 or 4 teams. I mean, there's a lot of parity in college football. I mean, that's what the transfer portal's done. That's what NIL world has done. Anybody can win on any given day. We know that in the UAC. We've seen that for 2 years straight.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing. You got to buckle up every week, and the days of building a team and culture and, knowing who you're going to have year in and year out and just developing is over. I mean, so a lot of these teams are going to come out and they're going to – some of these teams, kind of like us, we're young. We got a lot of new faces. We're figuring it out on the fly, whereas maybe last year's team, this time last year, now we had some injuries that messed us up at the end of the year, but this time last year we were a top 12 team. And you have a couple injuries, and that happens.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back after this. Continue the Nathan Brown Show live in Conway at Walk-Ons.
My name is Sanan. I play football for the UCA Bears. My name's Sanan.
All right, Chris Kane in for Justin Acree alongside Coach Brown for the Nathan Brown Show live at Walk-Ons in Conway. So glad to be with you tonight as we have got crossover season. College basketball's on the screen. That's where Justin is tonight in Chapel Hill, North Carolina with Central Arkansas Bears, and we'll see how they do against the mighty Tar Heels, one of the elite programs. What do we got so
Hanging
far,
tough
Coach?
right now.
Okay, there we go. Some books have it about a 33.5-point spread, so 17-8 the current score. North Carolina leads the Bears, but we've got a guy who could probably help the basketball team out on the inside just a little bit. Sinan Chappell, at least he would be able to move bodies in the paint.
He could box them
He
out.
could box them out.
Yeah.
How are you as a basketball player, Sinan, the center for this Central Arkansas Bears team?
Funny enough, basketball was actually my first love. My dad was a college basketball player, and he's actually the one who got me into basketball since I was a young age. And around just 8th grade, 9th grade, I stopped kind of growing at the rate I needed to, and the guy just surpassed me. So
You stopped at 6? You stopped right at 6?
Stopped right at 6.
Oh,
And
yeah.
here I am on the football field now.
You know, and I understand your mom was a volleyball player, right?
She was, yes.
Okay, very nice.
Yes.
So athletic background.
So,
This is, I know, your first year at the University of Central Arkansas, but not your first year playing with one of the key members of this team. Give us your background from Fossil Ridge High School out of Fort Worth, Texas. Tell us what got you, or who got you here to Central Arkansas, I should say.
yeah, so I'm just from Fort Worth, Texas, and I played football since I was about 7, 8 years old, and I actually known Landon LC, our running back, for about 12 years now. We played PB together, split up in middle school, got back together in high school, played high school all 4 years, and then it's funny, we were joking about out of high school going to the same school and stuff. Well, I took a different route, went D2, and then entered the portal in December, and I called him. And I was like, "Yo, let's get back together." And here we are now. But growing up, in Fort Worth and Dallas, they have a really good like football, like youth, and just like
I bet, yeah.
just good leagues and stuff like that, like high competition. So playing in leagues like that just really shaped me into the competitor I am today.
We were just talking about just the world of college football changing with NIL and so much happening in that. And then you have the exceptions to that rule where relationships still matter.
Absolutely.
I mean, what was that like when Landon comes to you and is like, hey, I got a guy we got to look at. I play with him. And then you see his tape, obviously. You probably knew about him even before.
Well, there wasn't a bigger advocate for Sinan than LC. I mean, that's just brutal honesty. And Sinan's accolades at his prior school were unreal. I mean, he was freshman of the year in the conference as an offensive lineman.
Only the fourth time that's ever happened in that school history.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then all conference caliber player, and he's not the biggest guy in the world, so he's always learned to play with technique and plays with just grit and toughness and all those things like that matters. And so got him on a visit. Obviously, LC was a big part of that, but like the big deal for that was just meeting his family, meeting Sinan. It takes you 2 minutes to love the kid, and then maybe even more important than anything is always personality. And we knew he was a center. To be a center, you got to be vocal. You got to be able to talk. You got to be able to do some of the things in communication. You could see that he could do that, and then the play on the field took care of itself. How
much is he helping with checks at the line and everything?
Oh, it's huge. Him and Austin are constantly communication. I mean, it's constant communication between those two.
What's it been like for you? Being in this offense now for more than half the season, but playing with a familiar face, obviously, and the success you guys have had running the ball, Sinan, is impressive. I mean, seeing Landon rush for over 100 yards, 6 straight games. I mean, this is a guy who is leading the conference in all-purpose yards. What has that been like for you gelling with these other offensive linemen that you just now joined and trying to make sure this offense keeps churning, even though these different pieces are being put in place?
Well, coming in, they welcomed me with all open arms, and I knew that we were running a new offense, so they were more familiar with it than I was, but I knew I had to learn all the calls and stuff so I could help my guys and put them in the best position to be successful. And when it comes to the running game with Landon, we just know that if we knock our guys back and we know our assignments, and I can get all the guys on the same page, that we can be successful. And, coming into the spring ball, it wasn't easy, learning a new playbook, adjusting to the Division I game, coming from D2. But, after spring ball through summer and then even through fall camp, I can just see myself improving and going to earn that starting spot.
We had other options, Tarleton State, SFA, Lamar, Northern Colorado. And I know that, obviously your friendship with Landon helps. But what's been some of the things about Conway that you've enjoyed, and UCA in particular, that have made this decision feel like this was? I not only knew it was the right place then, but it's been confirmed now.
Yeah, I fell in love with this place on my visit. Like when I got here, my visit went around the city. I actually came to walk-ons and then hung out with Landon and some of the other guys, and I just fell in love with it immediately. I mean, I signed him the next day. I was ready to go. I was a Bear. I was bleeding purple. So I mean, I love this city. You know, it's a bigger town than my previous college I was at, and like the school.
Where were you again? Colorado Pueblo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the school culture, like the campus and the people, and just being back in the South, like it's something I really wanted to do, and I'm just very appreciative to be here.
What's your major?
Exercise science.
Okay, very nice.
Yes, sir.
You enjoying the program so far?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, you get to live it out, I guess, every Saturday. Whenever you're out there, and I know the answer is probably pretty obvious, but for non-offensive linemen, would you rather pancake a guy in a pass block, or would you rather get out in open space, pull, and get out and just let him fall right behind you and block somebody down the field?
I actually like getting out in space and trying to go punish smaller dudes. Being in
Be honest.
He's athletic enough to do that.
Yeah, right. You can pull him.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
We can definitely pull Sanan. I mean, he's got some great athletic ability. Has great hips. Can really bend. But I mean, just when he can get on the edge, I mean, he's very talented to be able to do that. Some linemen you can't do that, or you don't feel comfortable enough doing that with. But he can do that.
This is also a guy I know that you trust enough to where there's been some rotations on the line throughout the year.
Absolutely.
I mean, and then you got your stalwart right in the middle.
Yep.
You don't want to change out your center.
No, he's
not like a guard.
Other than maybe some mop up duty. I mean, he's played every snap. I mean, and that's for your center to be able to do that. That's a big deal. I think just the continuity between him and the quarterback is huge as well.
Speaking of that, you've had two different quarterbacks now so far. What's that like as a center when you're going from one quarterback to start the year to another one now, and in terms of making sure that you have the right chemistry with them and understanding, and that you guys are on the same page?
I actually play with both of the quarterbacks in fall camp.
Okay.
We make sure to get reps with both of them just so we be on the same page, because even like the smallest thing, like how they time their cadence can be different, or just how they make checks or calls like that. And I got used to both of them during fall camp, so I was ready to play with any of them come the first game or whenever throughout the season.
It's always easy when we talk with a skill position player, running back, wide receiver. Like, who do you model your game after? They're like, oh, Justin Jefferson, or I love Saquon Barkley. It's not often I get to ask a center.
I know.
Is it Brad Meester? Is it Jeff Saturday? Who is a guy that at the next level you're like, man, I love the way that guy plays.
I love the way Jason Kelsey plays.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
being
good.
Kind of an undersized guy like me, or even like Aaron Brewer from the Dolphins. Undersized guys who are quick, athletic, strong, play low. I try to model my game after them and use those tools to enhance my game and play better.
Are you a Cowboys fan?
I'm a Packers fan.
Whoa! Being from Fort
How
Worth,
about that?
Texas, and being a Packers fan.
I'm a huge Clay Matthews fan. That's actually why I wear 52.
Really?
Everybody thinks Ray Lewis, but it's Clay Matthews.
It's Clay Matthews. Interesting. See, this is why I love.
I trained and was roommates with Clay Matthews in 2009. We had the same agent.
What was that like?
He was a different animal.
He's like Hercules.
Oh, he 100% was.
He looks, acts,
if I went through the list of guys that I was roommates with and working out with, there's a lot of them are still playing.
Last week in the 2-minute drill, Justin Acree asked him, who are you taking on your coaching staff into an alley? Well, let's take out the coaching staff. Taking Clay Matthews into a dark alley?
I would take Clay Matthews
That's
in
it.
dark alley.
I don't blame you. Sanan Chappell, center for the Central Arkansas football team. Sanan, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Enjoy the food here at Walk-Ons. Look forward to seeing you on Saturday at Austin Peay.
Thanks for having me. Best to be here.
All right, more of the Nathan Brown Show. We return from Walk-On Sports Bistro in Conway right here on Buzz 2. All right, welcome back into Walk-Ons in Conway. Chris Kane, Nathan Brown here on the Nathan Brown Show. So glad you're along with us on this Monday night. We'll change of times because of some basketball scheduling. We've got college basketball over the screens. We've got the Cowboys set to play the Cardinals on Monday Night Football in Dallas. We just had a non-Cowboys fan from Fort Worth, Texas, which shocked me as one of our player spotlights this week with Sinan Chappell. He is a Packers fan. We'll ask Caleb Jones what fan you are of in the NFL, Caleb. You got a team?
I'm a Cowboys fan.
Okay, there you go. I mean, you're from Pleasant Grove, Texarkana area, so Cowboys, I imagine, are the closest team. Saints are a little too far.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, very nice. Well, welcome into the show. We appreciate it. Redshirt freshman, who is, by the way, the leader in the NCAA FCS, ladies and gentlemen, in field goal percentage. 9 for 9 on the season, 2 for 2 this past weekend. Congratulations. When I told you that a minute ago, did you know that?
I was unaware that I was number one. I knew I was 9 for 9.
9 for 9. You know what you are, but you don't know if what you statistically rank as. And coincidentally, the only other kicker who's also 9 for 9, he's out of Maine. So each one that is tied for first, 9 for 9 on the season. But first of all, congratulations on that. I know it was a kicker battle through camp. Yeah. I mean, this is something you earned. Redshirt freshman coming in out of Texarkana area. What's it been like for you? As I know that throughout the season, your confidence seems to get more and more. Trey Spear was talking about on the show last week. What's that been like for you growing into that role of the starting kicker and having that confidence?
I mean, obviously, I came in and out of high school, I felt pretty good about myself. But going through college practices and everything, it was a different game. Missed a couple in practice, and the hardest part is missing a kick and coming back from it.
Right.
And that's a thing that Coach Brown's emphasized the whole year is I miss a kick and I'm walking the next kick and he's go and make the next one. And just
in practice, because you haven't done that in the game yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But the coaches are always on me, making sure I'm getting my op time faster, make sure there's no blocks. Because if I would have gotten blocked, I wouldn't be 9 for 9.
That's right. How do you manage that as a coach when you've got a kicker, when so much of it is mental and it's muscle memory and repetition? How do you manage what you say, when you say, if you say? How does that work as a head coach?
I think it's different for the different spots. So I think it's different for a kickoff guy.
Okay.
The way you treat him. I think it's different for a field goal guy. I think it's different for a punter. I think it's a lot about personality. I know for me, with Caleb, I mentioned it last week with Trace. I mean, I don't want to jinx him, but I mean, I bet he's missed 6 kicks all year in practice included. Yeah. I mean, he's just accurate. But for him, he's got a level head on him. You can see that he doesn't get rattled. He doesn't get shook. So if he does miss one, let's just say it happens in a practice. Literally, I'll tell all of our kickers, just go to the next one. Like you can't be dwelling on the last kick, because I know for me, I can't teach him how to kick. I'm not a kicker. I don't have a background of that. I mean, I know what my expertise is, and it's not in that field.
Right.
But I do know between the ears what it takes, and I know for him it's about confidence. It's about knowing that his coach believes in him. It's about pushing him to be even better. And again, part of that is exactly what he does. I think what he has done as well as any kicker I've coached in a long time is his op time is unreal. When that snap, he trusts his snapper. He trusts Caleb Coger as his holder, and he gets the ball in the air really quickly. And if you do that, then and obviously he's got the accuracy behind it. But when you do that, you got no chance of getting it blocked. You got no chance of something bad happening. So I've been pleased with his progression as far as all that goes.
Tell us about how you got to campus, why you chose UCA. What made you want to be a Bear?
Honestly, when I finished my last game of high school football, I didn't know if I was going to play college football. I decided to come to UCA before I decided to play college football.
Oh, wow.
And so –
how'd you find him?
How about this?
He was just a student, and you were like, "Hey,
how about this run of kickers that have UCA ties that are in the league right now? You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean,
Detroit.
Detroit
Yeah.
and John Parker Romo at Atlanta Falcons. I mean, it's crazy, but I didn't mean to cut you off, but it is pretty
let's
phenomenal.
Keep it going.
Hey, right. Hey, yeah. Can you please be next?
Yeah.
He stays on this path. He will.
Well, what is that like when you're not anticipating going to college for something like this? You did it in high school, but you think how'd you get in the program? What was that like for you?
Basically, I got my high school coach to get me in contact here, and I didn't even really go to summer practices. My first year, I showed up as a walk-on.
Day one walk-on. Yeah. They won a school walk-on.
I wasn't allowed to show up to practice till week 3 or 4.
Pretty crazy.
I would warm up. My whole fall season was I would warm up and I would hold chains on the sideline, kind of doing my time as a freshman. I hadn't earned anything, and so I figured I'd put my head down, make it to the spring, and show them what I can do.
What when you're going through a competition like that, one that like you said, you're coming in with, no expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we just talked about Landon's expectations, which are so high. Is that help any in your mentality when it's like, hey, I got nothing to lose. I know I've got the physical traits to do this. If it's all right here, I just got to go out there and show them what I could do. Does that help when there's no expectations, or do you want the expectations? Because now you have them. Now you're 9 for 9, so now there's expectations before, and you didn't have them.
Everyone loves a good underdog story.
Absolutely.
I always like proving people wrong.
Okay.
And so coming in with no expectations and being able to show people that I am who I believe I am, it feels good.
It should. Well, so this past weekend in the NFL, Cam Little set the NFL record for field goal length, 68 yards.
Wow.
Gosh. And, they asked him after the game, what do you think about whenever you're kicking? And it was funny. His answer was, well, nothing. He said, I don't think about anything because if you think about it, then you get in your head. So I ask you, what do you think about? Do you think about anything? Because, that's everyone wants to know when you're walking up to make that kick. You're like, all right, field goal unit, take me from the sideline to when you line up. What are you thinking?
Okay, so I'm going to start before, during, and after.
Okay,
so, before I get kick, I'm like whatever happens. Like, God's got a plan for me. And so I go out there, run out in the field. And while I'm lining up, it changes every once in a while, like what I'm thinking about when I'm kicking.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just make good contact with the ball. Sometimes it's be fast. Whatever's working for me that week, it changes every once in a while. But that's what I'm thinking about with the kick. And then usually whether it goes in or not, I'm coming off the field, or in practice I miss one or whatever. I'm always trying to thank God for giving the opportunity to be there. And that's what I'm thinking about after. So
when do you know it's going in? Is it change? It obviously varies, but this year I feel like a lot of years have been like, yep, right down the middle. There's no doubt about that one.
Yeah. Most of the time, I would say 98% of the time, it comes off my foot. I'm like, okay, that's good.
Really?
It's not good. But there was my career long, actually, 39-yarder. It's probably my bottom fifth, worst kick all year in game.
And somehow ends up being the career high.
Yeah, I hit it and hit it a little toey. It had a little wobble to it. It was usually when I'm lining up for a 40-yard kick or whatever, I'm like, okay, just get it between the uprights.
Yeah.
And I did that, put it between the uprights, and it was kind of wobbling on the left side, and I was like, God, give me a little wind, push it in.
Just a little wiggle?
Yeah.
Little draw on that?
Made it in by 2 yards. And that one, it was a little worried about it. And Caleb Koger was already celebrating before I knew it going in. I was like, oh.
Koger will let you know quick.
Yeah.
Usually the holders, their job is stressful, don't get me wrong. But once that kick's gone, they're like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Meanwhile, you're stressed because you're like, I'm the one that's going to get blamed if this thing doesn't go in. I was
still watching. I was like, and then it went in, and I was like, okay, yeah, we're good.
Fantastic. Well, congrats on being 9 for 9 so far. Let's finish strong. I know that kicking is not for the faint of heart, so appreciate your confidence and your poise out there, and looking forward to another strong finish to the season from you, Caleb.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations, Caleb
Great
Jones. 9 for 9, 100% on the season. And he is the leader in the FCS in field goal percentage. All right, we'll come back after this. Continuing the Nathan Brown Show live in Conway. We are at Walk-On's Sports Bistro. Monday Night Football starting in just a little bit. College basketball on the screen already. We've got continuing Nathan Brown Show. We'll come back right after this. Stay with us. All right, we welcome you back into the Nathan Brown Show. Thanks for being here with us on this Monday. A little early start on this Monday as we've got crossover season now. College basketball on the screens here at Walk On Sports Bistro. Nice crowd gathering on a Monday night. College basketball happening. We've got, of course, kind of the back quarter of the college football season. You've got the NFL currently underway with the Dallas Cowboys set to kick off against the Arizona Cardinals coming up. Jacoby Brissett taking snaps tonight. Looks like he's going to be playing for the Cardinals. Of course, Dak Prescott on the other side.
How about the Jags?
Hey, look,
rolling.
I'm going to tell you right now. They say gritty wins are gritty to disguise the fact that they're ugly, but I don't care.
Hey, look,
because a win's a win.
You've been around me long enough. You've heard enough post-game conversations. Who cares?
Doesn't matter.
Who cares?
And especially for an organization like the Jaguars that have suffered so much, you'll take a win by if they allowed half a point.
Yeah,
like in casinos, the Jaguars would take it. I'll take a half a point this weekend. I don't care. That's fine with me. Let's talk about this weekend, Coach. We've got Austin Peay. We're going to be heading up there. We got back-to-back road games. Okay, final 2 road games, and this is a gauntlet to finish. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but let's start with Austin Peay. They come off a loss on the road at Southern Utah.
Hard place to win.
As we know, that's a hard place to win. We're heading there after this week.
We got that in 2 weeks.
Before we get to that, Austin Peay 5-4 overall, 3-3 in UAC play. They dropped from the rankings 22nd. They're now out. They've had one of those seasons where they've had some quality wins. They've had some quality losses.
Yeah.
Everything in between. Last year in Conway, we handled business pretty easily. 45-17. The final ran all over them. I mean, 309 rushing yards with Shundee and Darius Hale, each with 2 touchdowns. This year, this Governor's team, a different matchup.
It is.
And this is one that has an offense that is rolling. They're averaging 34 points per game, only 25 against, 188 rushing yards per game, 255 pass yards, 444 total. Really, it starts with their quarterback, though. His name's Chris Parson, 64% on the season, 2,100 yards, 16 passing touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns. And here's the kicker. Only 3 interceptions. He's a guy who takes care of the ball. So what have you seen so far from this Austin Peay team?
Well, it starts and stops, like you said, with Parsons. I mean, he is the best quarterback in the league right now. You see his rushing numbers and you think, man, he's a running back that plays quarterback. It's actually the opposite. I mean, the kid, when you watch him on tape, he's an opportunistic runner. They do design some run game for him because of his talent and skill level. But he's a great passer. I mean, the kid stands in there, throws the ball as good as anybody in the league. He's one of the better quarterbacks I've seen in this league in a while.
Wow.
I mean, he has some Parker McKinney-like traits.
Don't bring that name. I don't want to hear that name.
He's going to look like Russell Wilson.
I don't want to hear Chase Forcade, even though he's on our team now, and I like Chase. He's my guy.
He's not the tallest guy in the world, but he's got a thick body. What I've noticed is he really trusts himself. So when I say trust himself, when a rush is coming, he trusts his athletic ability to escape, doesn't get panicked, very quick release with the football. And I would imagine that they've invested in him. I mean, he doesn't just transfer from Mississippi State for no reason.
Right.
I mean, so obviously getting an opportunity to be the guy, but I'm sure there's been a nice investment in him and some of the players that they brought in because they're really talented. I mean, like they've turned that roster over in a year. I mean, and not that they weren't there last year, but Coach Ferris has been able to turn that roster over to his type players. He's in year 2 as the head coach, and it's impressive what they've done. They've got an impressive defense as well, one of the top rush defense in the conference. They do a great job, but man, they are an explosive offense that we're going to have to be prepared for.
Only 118 rushing yards against per game that defense has given up. So you've got Parson is not only the quarterback, of course, but you mentioned his running ability, those touchdowns. He's also leading the team in rushing yards with 423. His running back behind him, though, Javius Bond, 311 rush yards. Not a lot, but it's 8.9 yards per carry.
He's explosive.
Jaden Robinson, Shamar Kirk, the 2 leading receivers, they each have 6 touchdowns, 400 and something yards each, pretty equally distributed. I always do numbers on defense for you because I know coaches, y'all just watch film. You don't care about names. So here are the 2 numbers I want you to tell me about them on defense. 31, which is their leading tackler, 60 tackles, Montrez Smith Jr., and 17, Davion Hood, 5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss. What have you seen on tape?
Well, let's start with Hood. I mean, he's a twitchy, explosive edge guy within their 4-2-5 defense. I mean, they put him in a position to get one-on-ones. Plays the run well too, which hence he's got 9 tackles for loss. But if you allow him to pin his ears back, he's going to be tough to block. So we're going to have to keep him off balance. We're going to have to get the ball out of our quarterback's hands quick to not let their pass rush take over. But very talented. 31's he's just a masher. I mean, he's a kid that runs side to side well. He's got a nose for the ball. Obviously, anytime some of these guys are their leading tacklers, that's usually one of their traits. But I mean, very physical kid at the point of attack. But I'll tell you this, like, they've got a lot of numbers that jump off the page at you, and when you're watching them on film, because they just run to the ball. They're coached really well. This is the first-year defensive coordinator, came over from Tennessee Tech. Got helped get Tennessee Tech turned around to what they are. He took the Austin Peay defensive coordinator job year one at Austin Peay as the defensive coordinator. He's got those guys playing at a high rate. They're going to be difficult to move inside the box. They trust their defensive backs in one-on-one situations, so we've got to hopefully take advantage of that.
This is a game that's going to be kicked off at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Head team heading up on Friday, I'm sure. Yep. Not too far of a drive from Central Arkansas area. It's about 5 and change.
It's one of our better trips.
Yeah.
And I say that, kind of jokingly. I mean, this is, we do some travel, and then you were talking about this home stretch of the season. I mean, we're on the back part of a 6 of 8 on the road. And that's tough in the middle of the season. I mean, it's not conducive for success. It's not an excuse, but it's just reality.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 of 8 on the road is difficult to navigate, and obviously, these last 2 road games are the back part of that, and Austin Peay is obviously one of the shorter trips, which is nice.
Yeah, this is last time we were over there. It was a heartbreak. I know you're looking to exercise some of those demons at the end of the season. It was the last game of the season.
We were talking about that in the break.
Yeah.
I mean, let's rewind to that game. The last time we were in Clarksville, Tennessee in 23. That was for the conference area.
That's
all
right.
The marbles were on the table. We're having a struggle in this season, but that wasn't that long ago. We were sitting there ahead of Tarleton, ahead of Eastern Kentucky,
Absolutely.
ahead of all these teams playing for a conference championship the last week of the season, and so. We've had some big games over the years with Austin Peay, even before we were even in conference with them. I mean, you can go back to COVID year, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Montgomery, Alabama, winning late in that game. I mean, there's a lot of good matchups between Austin Peay over the years. Winning
time.
Yep, that's a big throw and catch between him and Braylon
on ESPN.
First game of the year that year.
It's hard to even conceptualize at times what that year was because at this point it feels like it was a decade ago plus. It was 5 years ago, so it was half a decade, but it feels like almost even further than that.
When I get stressed, I think about that year. Stress gets a lot less when you think about that year.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Well, hey, kickoff again, 3 o'clock. That's taking place on Saturday. Clarksville, Tennessee, not too bad of a drive, encouraging the Bear faithful to head up there. We're staying in Clarksville the night before. We've never stayed there. We usually stay in a surrounding town. So head up to Clarksville, Tennessee, support the Bears as they take on the Governors of Austin Peay. Again, our pregame is going to start at 2 p.m. Central Time. Looking forward to seeing everybody up there if they can make it, and if not, make sure you join us on the Point 94.1. Coach, as always, great to have you on the show. Looking forward to seeing you next week.
Great being with Chris, man.
And we will see you next time on the Nathan Brown Show, live at Walk-Ons. Kickoff for the NFL Monday night game about to get underway in Dallas as the Cowboys host the Arizona Cardinals. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you on Saturday.